filming locations. So what films here at Universal? TV shows like Desperate Housewives, the original CSI crime scene investigation, Parenthood, the new Showtime series Weeds now films here. A while back we made a new Muppet movie, and our current release, Cowboys and Aliens, never went to the box office last weekend. Now guys, right now I'm going to bring on my co-host for today's tour. You know him from TV shows like Saturday Night Live, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy, you're on.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Richard.
And the greatest driver.
Terry.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Terry
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
All right, guys, here's our safety clip. Check this out. Good stuff here, very important too. Anytime during the tour you have an emergency of any kind, reach overhead, pull the emergency cord. Runs down the center of the ceiling of each one of the cars. Give it a yank, we'll hear a bell, we'll come back and assist you. Do not stand up while the tram is moving. Stay seated while the tram is in motion. Oh, no Frankie, this bad. No smoking on board the tour. No smoking anywhere in California now. Be prepared for just about anything today, including a few loud noises, fire effects, those should feel good. Sudden tram movements, and oh yeah, the possibility of getting wet. No diving overboard. Our studio tour safety rules. Well, now we're driving through Universal's movie timeline. The original movie posters on both sides of the tram represent just a few of the over 9,000 movies Universal has made down through the years. Now, a while back we went through our film archives and found some old black and white footage from a 1940s film. See if you recognize the movie this scene came from.
I have the room ready for you and Mrs. Barrington.
Thank you, Arthur.
Did you hear that?
Oh, wait. No. I don't think so.
Not quite dark, but soon. Very close.
Notice the bellhop behind him. Keep an eye on him.
Yes?
Every bottle of champagne sent to the room at once. And make sure that we are not disturbed for any reason.
Okay, that's not a real movie. That's Jimmy Fallon demonstrating how we use our sound stages for filming. Watch this.
That was great. That was great. That was great. Excellent.
We do about 70% of our filming inside of these front lot stages. They're 98% soundproof, but there's always the chance the sound of my voice amplified throughout 4 cars could carry inside and ruin the filming. And we don't want that to happen. So if I see a red light flashing outside of a stage, that means they're shooting inside. I go off the microphone immediately. CSI, the original crime scene investigation films here with Mark Helgenberger, Lawrence Fishburne. You shoot over here on the left inside of stage 25. In fact, they occupy stages 25, 24, 23, and 22. Now, most of our front lot stages are what we call closed sets, open only to the immediate crew, cast members, and invited guests. But the next time you come to Universal, be sure to check out our VIP experience, where you can become one of those invited guests and actually walk on and explore the sets of some of our productions. But not CSI. They're closed to everybody. These stages were built back in the 1930s. They're fairly old, but the oldest building on our front lot is down here on the right, stage 28. Again, if you would, look at your monitors. Stage 28 was built in 1925 to house the Paris Opera House set for the Phantom of the Opera. Starred Lon Chaney Sr., Man of a Thousand Faces, in his most famous role. And since then, Stage 28's been home to a lot of other creepy characters, like the Bride of Frankenstein, Mother Bates in Psycho, Mother T-Rex from the Lost World, Jurassic Park, and The Grinch. A while back, our new Muppet movie was filming in here, written by Jason Segel from How I Met Your Mother. He's also starring in the film. One of our recent big money makers is a film called Fast Five with Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Some of that film shot ahead of us here on the right, inside of stage 29. Right now, 29 is being used for the new TV series Prime Suspect. And over on the left, we have stage 27, one of the 4 stages they used for the Showtime series Weeds. Now, speaking of television shows, our television history goes back some 72 years to the opening day ceremonies of the 1939 New York's World Fair. Marked the very first television transmission. Since then, NBC and Universal have produced some of the most popular shows on network television. Here are just a few of them. Universal Universal is part of NBC Universal, one of the world's largest entertainment companies. This media powerhouse not only consists of Universal Studios, but also some of your favorite TV networks like NBC, E, Sci-Fi, USA, Bravo, Telemundo, the Golf Channel, CNBC, MSNBC, the Weather Channel, Oxygen, and Versus, just to name a few. On the right, we're now passing stages 43 and 4 with the series Parenthood films. Peter Krause and Craig T. Nelson. Right now, they're filming out on our backlot. More about that a little bit later on. TV shows work on an extremely fast schedule. The average episode takes about a week to complete from the first rehearsal to the final taping. But movies, well, they're a different story. The average film could take months, sometimes a year to finish, and involve hundreds of people. So where do movies and TV shows come from? Well, look to your left and you'll see these bungalows are production offices for writers, directors, and producers who currently have a development deal with a studio. But at one time, some of these bungalows were dressing rooms for stars like Doris Day, Rock Hudson, Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart, Gregory Peck, Lana Turner, James Garner, Lucille Ball, Paul Newman, Charlton Heston, just to name a few. Down here from the Hasbro production office, you'll see Mr. Potato Head. They actually plan to make movies out of some of the Hasbro board games. They've also almost already made a movie out of Battleship. Next one will be Monopoly. Mr. Potato Head on the left. And right next door, we have Bungalow 5195. Notice the profile on the wall. Years ago, that was the office of the master of terror and suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. He, of course, directed such classic films as Vertigo, Psycho, Rear Window, and The Birds. All right, guys, now we're leaving our front lot. We're heading into the back lot. Out here in the back lot, the tour starts to get a little more exciting. Now, some of you might be thinking, how could it be more exciting than it is already? Well, trust me, it will be. Out here in the old back lot, the world is just around the corner. I mean, we shoot the big stuff out here, exterior scenes on a very large scale. Now, on June 1st of 2008, 4 acres of our historic back lot were burned in a devastating fire. All the sets have burned down, have been rebuilt, bigger and better than ever, and you'll see them shortly down here on the right side of the tram. Now, what you're about to see are called facades. A facade is basically just the front and sides of a building with no interior. We only build what the camera will actually see. Stones and bricks appear to be real, but they're just sheets of fiberglass and foam rubber. We'll reuse the same sets over and over again, changing their appearance each time, so hopefully you won't notice the difference from one production to the next. A while back, Lady Gaga was doing a music video in this little alleyway over here on the right side of the tram. Today, the New York Film Academy is shooting back there. Those are student filmmakers honing their craft. They've chosen our back lot as their West Coast headquarters. Well, ahead of us here on the right, we have Brownstone Street. Last week, the Showtime series Weeds was filming there. That kind of represents old New York. And then right across the park, even more modern-looking New York Street. We've already had several major films shooting on our new sets, TV shows, commercials, music videos. We'll tell you about those momentarily.
Rubber and like foam.
But now we're coming into Courthouse Square, better known in recent years as Hill Valley, California, for the first 2 Back to the Future films. We have several picture stops planned for you folks today. This is the first one, so get those cameras out. If they're not already, we'll be stopping here for just a moment. Ahead of us down here on the right, you'll see the courthouse where Doc Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd, harnessed a lightning bolt to send Marty McFly back to the future. Marty, of course, is played by actor Michael J. Fox. Now, as you're looking at the courthouse right now, you might be thinking it looks different than it did in the Back to the Future films, and you're right, because recently, this was the town of Grandview in the series Ghostbusters with Jennifer Love Hewitt, and they sort of altered the appearance of the courthouse. But look at your monitors, and here's how it did appear in quite a few films down through the years. That's how the courthouse looked in the first Back to the Future film. The courthouse, north end of the square, survived the fire. They weren't damaged at all. The courthouse has been here since the 1940s, just a facade. There's nothing inside it. And here's some scenes from Ghost Whisperer that filmed here not too long ago. Shot right back there. Hey guys, I mentioned a while ago that Parenthood Films here at Universal are filming now right not too far from here. Later on, we have a couple quiet zones coming up.